Good day, everyone, to our fellow cadets, and to our dear professor. This video discussion is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Rodan Ardinas, to use this as an educational material. With no further ado, the objectives of the study is to articulate a personal definition of global citizenship, appreciate the ethical obligations of global citizenship, analyze the global movements of people, and display first-hand knowledge of the experiences of OFWs in the views of political, economic, cultural, and social factors.
Global citizenship involves a mindset that transcends narrow national interest, focusing on the collective well-being of humanity. It promotes the idea of individuals and communities collaborating to address pressing global challenges such as environmental degradation, human rights abuses, poverty, and social inequality. These concepts encourage active participation in international dialogues and initiatives, fostering a sense of shared responsibility for the welfare of the entire world. Key aspects of global citizenships are first, cultural awareness and respect, embracing diverse culture and respecting different perspectives, fostering a sense of unity and understanding among people from various backgrounds. So second is ethical decision making. So prioritizing ethical consideration and personal and professional decision making with a strong emphasis on promoting fairness, justice, and inclusivity. Third is socio-political engagement. So, participating in civic and political activities, advocating for policies and global actions that promote well-being and sustainable development. Fourth is environmental stewardship. So, promoting environmentally conscious behavior and supporting initiatives that aim to preserve the planet ecosystem for future generations. So, lastly is humanitarian assistance. So, supporting humanitarian efforts and contributing to projects that provide aid and assistance to the vulnerable communities and individuals worldwide.
Global citizenship, in my view, is a mindset and a sense of belonging to a broader human community. It transcends in national borders and emphasizes one's responsibility to not only their own nation but to the world as a whole. A global citizen is someone who recognizes the interconnectedness of our planet, acknowledges the shared challenges we face, and actively engages in efforts to promote equality, sustainability, and social justice worldwide. Being a global citizen involves respecting and celebrating diversity, embracing cultural differences, and advocating for human rights for all people, regardless of their nationality or background. It also entails environmental stewardship and a commitment to addressing global issues such as climate changes, poverty, and access to education on a global scale. Ultimately, a global citizen is someone who strives to make the world a better place by contributing positively to the collective well being of humanity, transcending the limitation of geographical boundaries.
Appreciating the ethical obligation of global citizenships involve recognizing and understanding our responsibilities as individuals within a global community. I am Dec Cadet Isguera, and here are some key ethical obligations of global citizenships. Number 1. Respect for human rights. Global citizens have a duty to respect and promote the fundamental of human rights of all individuals, regardless of their nationality, race, gender, religion, or any other characteristics. This includes advocating the equal rights, fighting against the discrimination and injustice, and supporting initiatives and protect the human rights globally. So the second one is environmental stewardship. Global citizenship have a responsibility to protect and preserve the environment for current and the future generation. This involve adopting sustainable practices, reducing carbon footprints, conserving resources, supporting renewable energy, and promoting environmental awareness and education. So the third one is social justice. Global citizens should strive for social justice and equality. This means addressing poverty, inequality, and social injustice through action such as promoting fair trade, advocating for access to education and healthcare, supporting marginalized communities, and working towards inclusive and equitable societies.
Good day, I'm Decadet Centino, and the fourth ethical obligation of global citizenship is promoting peace and conflict resolution. Global citizens should actively promote peaceful coexistence and work towards resolving conflicts through dialogue, negotiation, and peaceful means. This includes supporting the initiatives for disarmament, mediation, and promoting understanding and tolerance among different cultures and religions. So, fifth, ethical consumptions. Global citizens should be mindful of their consumption patterns and make ethical choices that consider the social and environmental impact of their actions. This may involve supporting fair trade, choosing sustainable products, avoiding products made through exploitation or child labor, and supporting local communities. Sixth is active engagement. So global citizens should actively engage in their communities and participate in democratic processes. These include voting, volunteering, supporting civil society organizations, and advocating for positive change in policies and practices at local, national, and global levels.
So, overseas Filipino workers or OFWs constitute a significant global migration movement from the Philippines, and their experiences have political, economic, and social implications. Here's an analysis of the global movements of people, particularly OFWs from a political perspective. Labor export policy. The Philippines has a government-led labor export policy initiated during the Marcos regime in the 1970s, which aimed to alleviate domestic unemployment and to generate foreign exchange through the deployment of Filipino workers abroad. This policy is political choice to address the both economic and social issues in the Philippines. The economic remittances. OFWs contribute significantly to the Philippine economy through the remittances they send back home. These remittances are a crucial source of foreign exchange, contributing to the country's balance of payments. This has political implications for the government's revenue, foreign exchange reserves, and policies. And then, the diplomatic relations. The Philippines maintains diplomatic relations with host countries and negotiates labor agreements to protect the rights and welfare of OFWs. Political negotiations and diplomatic efforts are integral to securing favorable conditions and safeguarding the well-being of Filipino workers abroad. And the protection of rights. The experiences of OFWs often involve political concerns such as ensuring their rights and welfare. Political actions both domestically and in host countries are needed to enforce labor standards, prevent exploitation, and provide legal protection. Social and cultural integration. The political aspects of the OFW experience also include the cultural and social integration of overseas workers in host countries. Governments may negotiate agreements on cultural exchanges and social services to ensure the well-being of their citizens abroad. And then the national identity. The presence of a large overseas Filipino population contributes to the Philippines' national identity. OFWs are often referred to as modern-day heroes due to their sacrifices, and their experiences are embedded in the country's political discourse. And then the public policy. The Philippine government must formulate and implement policies related to overseas employment which can be highly political. These policies addresses issues like labor protection, employment conditions, and repatriation in times of crisis. And then lastly, the bilateral relations. Political relations between the Philippines and host countries play a role in shaping the experiences of OFWs. Bilaterally, agreements, disputes, and host country policies can significantly impact the lives of overseas workers. Overall, the experiences of OFWs are deeply entwined with politics, reflecting the Philippines' labor export policy, diplomatic efforts, national identity, in public policy, and international relations. Understanding the political dimensions of the global movements of people, such as OFWs, is essential for ensuring the welfare and rights of overseas workers and addressing the broader implications on the country's economy and society. Thank you.
Economic aspects of global citizenship. Global citizenship has economic aspects that play a significant role in today's interconnected world. The first one is remittances and economic impact. OFWs are known for their substantial contributions to the Philippine economy through remittances. The money sent back home by OFWs provide a vital source of foreign exchange and sustains the livelihoods of millions of Filipinos. This economic lifeline helps stabilize the Philippine peso, boost consumption, and support investment in various sectors. Global labor market dynamics. The experience of OFWs illustrate how global labor markets are increasingly interconnected. Many OFWs work in low-skilled jobs in countries such as United States, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. While some occupy high-skilled positions in sectors like nursing and information technology, the type of work often corresponds to the skill level of the worker, and this plays a role in their economic experience abroad. The third one is vulnerability and exploitation. Some OFWs experience exploitation and abuse due to their vulnerable position in foreign countries. This is particularly true for domestic workers and those industries with lax labor protections. The economic imperative to earn money for their families back home can make OFWs susceptible to exploitation. The fourth one is economic mobility and career development. For many OFWs, working abroad is a means to upward economic mobility. They can earn significantly higher wages abroad than they could in the Philippines. However, the economic sacrifices such as being separated from their families can be emotionally and socially challenging. The fifth one is social cost. The economic aspect of OFW experiences should also consider the social cost. Families are often fragmented due to OFWs working abroad, and this can have economic implications in terms of childcare and support for elderly family members left behind. The sixth one is return migration and investment. Many OFWs plan to return to the Philippines after a period of working abroad. Their experiences overseas can provide them with skills, savings, and global networks that can be leveraged for business and investment opportunities back home, which can contribute to local economic development. Seventh one is government policies and regulation. The Philippine government has implemented various programs and regulations to safeguard the rights and welfare of OFWs. Economic policies have been devised to harness the potential of this global workforce while mitigating its risks. The eighth one is economic resilience and global shocks. The experience of OFWs are intertwined with the global economy. Economic shocks such as financial crises or pandemics can significantly impact the job security and remittance flow. For instance, the COVID-19 pandemic had severe economic repercussions for many OFWs as they lost jobs and income.
Cultural aspects of global citizenship. So, when analyzing the global movements of people, especially the experience of overseas Filipino workers or OFWs from a culture factors perspective. So first is cultural adaptation. So OFW need to adapt the culture of their host countries. This process involves learning new language, costumes, and traditions. The culture factors impact how will OFWs integrate their new environments. So, the second is cultural identity. So, the experience of working and living in a foreign culture may raise questions of cultural identity for OFWs. So, the third is cross-cultural communication. So, OFWs need often to navigate cross-cultural communication both in the workplace and in living for their daily lives. So, fourth is cultural exchange. So, cultural factors can lead to the exchange of ideas, values, and practices between OFWs and their host communities. Cultural celebrations and festivals. Many OFWs participate in cultural celebrations and festivals in their host countries and provides unique opportunity to immerse the local culture and contribute to cultural diversity. So, the cultural stereotypes and prejudice. So, cultural factors can also play a role in experience of discrimination or prejudice, as some OFWs may face stereotypes or biases based on their cultural background. So, the next is religious and spiritual practices. So, the cultural factor extend to religious and spiritual practices, as OFWs may need to adapt or find places of worship that align with their beliefs in their host countries. So, next is cultural resilience. So, OFWs often demonstrate cultural resilience by maintaining and celebrating their Filipino culture while adapting to new cultural environment. So the next is cultural exchange and back home. So when OFWs return to the Philippines, they often bring with them new cultural experience and influence from their host countries. This cultural exchange can shape local communities and broader culture in Philippines. So, the understanding and appreciating these cultural factors is essential in recognizing the complex cultural dynamics that OFWs navigate, and it emphasizes the importance of cultural adaptability, the preservation of cultural identity, and the broader cultural enrichment that result from the global movements of people.
Global citizenship refers to the concept of individuals recognizing and embracing their identity as a member of a global community, transcending their national or local affiliation. Overseas Filipino worker or OFW represent a significant population with this global context, and there are several social factors related to them in the context of global citizenship. So first one is transnational communities. So FW often form traditional communities living and working in the foreign countries. They maintain connections with the Philippines and the host countries, contributing to the sense of a global citizenship as they bridge cultures and create a global network. So second one is the remittance. The remittance sent back to the Philippines by OFW play a crucial role in the country economy. This financial support demonstrates a sense of responsibility and interconnectedness with their home country, aligned with the principle of global citizenship. Third one is social responsibility. Many of OFWs engage in community service and support initiatives both their host countries. and in the Philippines. They actively participate in social causes, reflecting a global awareness and commitment to improving the well-being of people on a global scale. So fourth one is cultural exchange, OFW, exposed to different cultures and perspectives while working abroad. This exposure can lead to a broader understanding and cultural diversity and foster a sense of global citizenship by encouraging tolerance and acceptance. Fifth one is advocacy for migrants' rights. OFW often advocate for better working conditions and rights, not only for themselves but for all migrants. This advocacy demonstrates a concern for the global right of migrants and align with the principle of global citizenship. So, in summary, social factors related to FWs in the context of global citizenship are rooted in their transnational experiences, contribution to their country, and their active participation in global issues and causes, showing their sense of belonging to a broader global community.